Thursday, December 1st. You are listening to Weather with Enthusiasm. We will now hear a weather synopsis and the impacts that the weather systems will have on generally the Midwest, but also other parts of the United States. Strong storm system located around the Hudson Bay area of 28.92 is quite attention-grabbing. This storm system continues to move northeast. Another strong storm system located in the western parts of Canada was responsible for a minor ridge located here in the Midwest. This is also reflected in a surface high-pressure system, which will be moving far enough east tonight to produce southerly winds over the area tomorrow, bringing in for many locations only slightly warmer temperatures. Perhaps because warmer air first rises over the cold air, we won't actually feel the real significance of these southerly winds until Friday, when temperatures here in the Chicago area will go up into the 50s. Places further to the south will likely have temperatures in the 60s. Kansas City National Weather Service has pointed out that the cold front, the next system approaches, there could be some compressional warming that takes place outside that cold front. If that should happen, temperatures will actually warm into the 70s for Kansas City.
Oh my gosh.
That sounds reasonable for St. Louis, Missouri as well. This cold front is connected to a low pressure system, which seems to be connected to the one in the Pacific Northwest. This low pressure system will not have Gulf moisture associated with it. The QPF says the Bismarck, North Dakota National Weather Service is under 0.2 of an inch. With the 20-to-1 snow-to-water ratio for at least half of this snow system,
that's taka cool.
The forecasts up there are forecasting between 1 to 3 inches of snow, despite the lack of moisture, and this includes the Minneapolis, Minnesota area for Friday night. Precipitation chances exist even in the Chicago area. This trough, as it moves south, this ridge moves east, and then the trough on the west coast moves into our area. The trailing cold front actually stalls to the south of us, something similar to what we would find by the summer. It is believed that this front is what's going to be responsible for the Gulf moisture not making it too far north. At the same time, a high-pressure ridge over the northern parts of the Gulf of Mexico will probably greatly increase the moisture and dew points for areas down there, at least for the southern Gulf Coast states. One would have to think that there's at least chances for storm systems to develop along that front, but the storm system that makes it into Oklahoma on the southern stream that's coming from the desert southwest will be utilizing Pacific moisture to produce storm chances on Sunday, according to the Tulsa National Weather Service.
Weird.
So we have a bunch of systems that don't seem to have a lot of moisture to them. The Kansas City National Weather Service actually says the problem is we don't have systems. Where there is no real organized any one storm system that anyone could really point to create any excitement at all. As of now, we will not be seeing the ingredients necessary to produce a major winter storm come together here in the Midwest. We have the moisture in the Gulf of Mexico, plenty of it, but it stays down south. We have Pacific moisture that is making it even into the Oklahoma area, but no Gulf moisture. That low pressure system, it doesn't sound like it's a solid system. Even that storm system doesn't sound too solid. And the low pressure system that's going to be moving through the upper Midwest, I thought it sounded solid, but the Kansas City National Weather Service turns that into a question mark. Either way, the fronts that are associated with these systems will certainly be solid, strong, and sharp.
Oh my gosh.
The first one coming in Friday night. The Dakota National Weather Service has pointed out that this system is moving a little bit quicker than originally anticipated. This will have temperature consequences for that area, as the cold air will be pushing in at full force Thursday night already. Forecasters have lowered their forecasts and temperatures for those areas for Thursday night. In terms of the consequences for us here in Chicago, Friday night, it's not clear if there are any consequences for us, but for Saturday and Shabbos, we could expect cold weather. The precipitating clouds will likely move over the area Friday night into Saturday morning, but with a very dry air mass in place, much of that precipitation will evaporate before touching the ground. Any precipitation that does fall could be drizzle or could be flurries. However, realize that in dry air there's enormous evaporative cooling, which would greatly decrease the temperatures of the precipitation, so I think it's more likely for it to fall as snow. The next frontal boundary that moves through is going to be on Tuesday. As the Boston National Weather Service has pointed out, we'll be in a negative northern Atlantic oscillation index, which means there's going to be a blocking high pressure system over Greenland and over Alaska. That's where the jet stream is going to be going far up north. That's where the mild air is going to be, in fact, unseasonably mild. Producing the cold air is going to come down into our area. In between these two bulges of the jet stream, we will have the dip in the jet stream over here. If the dip of the jet stream would be further to the south, it would allow that front along the Gulf Coast to clear out. Once that clears out, it actually would help produce a major snowstorm by allowing Gulf moisture to come back up into our area. Enjoy the Friday warmth.
Yes!
Ranging from the 50s in Chicago to the 70s in the areas which are experiencing compressional warming, down in Kansas, perhaps Missouri, and probably the southern states. Southerly winds return for Sunday, probably Monday as well. We may not feel it till Monday, and then by Tuesday we already have the next front that moves through. As of now, for us living here in the Midwest, for the weather enthusiasts, it doesn't look too exciting unless you're in a city that already has the winter scene and you want to keep up the consistency of the winter scene. That itself is exciting. A place like Minneapolis. So you have some excitement there.
Yes!
But for the rest of us, it looks like we're going to have to wait beyond the 7-day forecast cycle before we get into the next excitement. Unless something somehow pops up at the very last minute. Can you hear its own? You have been listening to the podcast Weather with Enthusiasm. Just Google Weather with Enthusiasm and they're all going to come up. We will now hear the Weather with Enthusiasm trailer, 1 minute long. We have a powerhouse typhoon which has developed off in the Pacific Ocean. A big shockaroo to many of you. This is especially true in regards to what's going to be going on in Alaska. We have parts of the world that are so hot right now. Temperatures are expected to go into the low 130s. We have blazing heat that's coming out of Pakistan right now, blowing into the India area. These are called the Lu winds. We have a remarkable weather pattern change that's going to be taking place over the next few days. We're going from one extreme to the next extreme. We have a very exciting development. This is called a November witch. Snow squalls with whiteout conditions expected for parts of Gaylord, Michigan. And listen to this from the National Weather Service. Several more additional feet of snow is expected by Monday morning.
When there's intense weather, that's a time of celebration.
Just Google weather with enthusiasm and they're all going to come up. We will now hear the weather with enthusiasm trailer, 1 minute long. We have a powerhouse typhoon which has developed off in the Pacific Ocean.
A big shockaroo to many of you. This is especially true in regards to what's going to be going on in Alaska. We have parts of the world that are so hot right now.
Temperatures are expected to go into the low 130s.
We have blazing heat that's coming out of Pakistan right now, blowing into the India area. These are called the Lu winds. We have a remarkable weather pattern change that's going to be taking place over the next few days. We're going from one extreme to the next extreme.
We have a very exciting development.
This is called a November witch.
Snow squalls with whiteout conditions expected for parts of Gaylord, Michigan. And listen to this from the National Weather Service. Several more additional feet of snow is expected by Monday morning.
When there's intense weather, that's a time of celebration.
Just Google weather with enthusiasm and they're all going to come up.